Here we go. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Good morning. That's a good GM. It is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. So we are in 2024, and that day is the May 16th. I should actually have brought it up before I started talking, but it's a hashtag, GAAD. Hopefully that'll bring it up. No, maybe not. In socials, it will bring it up. And Accessibility Awareness Day is, oh gosh, I can't do this while I'm working, while I'm talking. Okay, we're gonna stop streaming. Okay, I think I am still live. Look, I got the good morning, GM. Today is Global Accessibility Awareness Day. So it's 2024, and this is the 13th Global Accessibility Awareness Day. This is something I've known about for a good many years now, and it's a fun way for you to learn about how people use assistive technology to access the content that you make. So that's what I want to feature this talk on. You can go and see any number of events that are happening today. Well, all this week they have been happening. So we have a list, and you can filter by country, and then you can go see a lot of talks today. I probably would really like to watch a lot of these. Now, I have been working in accessibility for quite some time, and the first thing when I got access to Midjourney, I thought, oh my goodness, I can make images for my accessibility related articles because I'm a graphic designer, a content producer, a content strategist. So I tried with Midjourney. Let's see what Midjourney knows about accessibility. Here I am filtering on all of my own images that I have prompted with the word accessibility in the title. I'm going to take my slider and move it to the beginning of when I first started. So yes, I remember these. August of 2022, I said illustration for concept of digital accessibility, access to all digital content for everyone. It just gave me orange and blue. The model didn't know exactly what to do with that prompt. And that means there's not enough data in the data pool that it scraped to learn like how to make an illustration for accessibility. I started getting more detailed with my prompts. Paper quilling became a word of the day in Midjourney, and in 2023, so I said, okay, let me try making let me try again with these illustrations for an accessibility related article. And they didn't have a lot of they weren't cohesive enough. I didn't use these images. But I got paper quilling images of old guys and dogs, or people with canes and guide dogs. I got people at a desk. I've got some strange sculptural looking things that you're not sure what's going on. I've got a dog at a desk, like it's the dog doing the work for you. That's kind of funny. So then I prompted again, and these images look like a woman in a wheelchair who is blind, wearing the dark sunglasses and using a tablet. And not quite what I wanted. And then they copy the style of the most popular accessibility related images that are on stock today. Like Adobe Stock, you ask for an image that talks about inclusion, you'll get something that looks a lot like this: flat illustration vector art that has all the things. A wheelchair, a guide dog, cane. It's just too much. So I just kept on going with it, and I ended up making a mascot for one of my articles for my website, howtoworkontheweb.com, and I made Clicky. I made a lot of versions of Clicky. Clicky's mad that everybody still uses the words click here as their only link text. So I made a little mad robot. And then I started seeing, hey, does Midjourney know anything about assistive tech now? Assistive tech. And that's the point I'm trying to make here today, is I asked for an illustration of digital accessibility showing vector art of a refreshable braille display. Let's see what Midjourney knows about refreshable braille. Well, you can ask it for Scrabble and it doesn't really give you a Scrabble game. You can ask it for a refreshable braille display. It gives you something with buttons, sort of close, but not even there. Let me tell you how people with different disabilities experience your content as a content creator. So number one is people using the Mac OS who have blindness or low vision tend to use VoiceOver as their go-to. VoiceOver is the most user-friendly from what I have heard. I just took a basic tutorial on it. I am by no means a VoiceOver user, but I know that it exists. And so you can go to support.apple.com and read about VoiceOver. What you're going for when you're creating content is to make sure that a machine, like a software like VoiceOver or JAWS, can announce your content. So if you mark it up correctly, then people using VoiceOver or JAWS can experience your content. If you do not mark it up correctly, then they won't know that your article had 6 headings, or they won't know where all the links go in your article, or they may not even be able to access your content at all. So JAWS means job access with speech, and this is a Windows specific software to announce what's on your screen. So it doesn't just read a web page. It doesn't just read an Acrobat. So like Acrobat does have a read page function, but it's not the same as assistive technology. So assistive tech gives you a lot of bells and whistles. Like it'll tell you how many rows are in a table. It'll let you pull out links out of context, so you could just listen to all of the links on the page, to what their link text is. And that's why if you make 6 links on the page that go different places and they all say click here or just the word here, somebody using JAWS will here, click here, and that's not useful. So that's why when we are making content for emails, for your newsletter blasts, for your blog, for your web page, anything that goes online, make your content have easily discernible link text. Tell people in the link text where they're going to land. So job access with speech has been around a really long time, and that is what people who are blind and low vision use to experience content on the web, who are using a Windows machine. So again, here's GAAD. Now, I wanted to touch on some other assistive technologies. Assistive tech doesn't have to be just like the software for people in the blindness and low vision community. There are people who have mobility impairments who don't have the use of their hands, and sometimes they may use a low-tech assistive tech, such as a mouth stick, to like hit the keyboard one button at a time. They don't have the use of the mouse or keyboard shortcuts because they've got a stick with a pad on it in their mouth, and they're just typing slowly one at a time. That's one way. Some people with mobility impairments have access to a head switch in the back of their wheelchair, and they can, it's like a binary thing on off, and they can interface with your content by using a head switch. And so this is another reason why it's imperative to understand how to make your content so that a machine can parse it properly to people using all manner of assistive technologies. People with low, I'm going to say, the common vernacular is like color blindness, but it's really color vision deficiency. That's the most common denominator if you're going to make your content on your website accessible. Easiest, quickest thing to do, color contrast. But it's harder with charts, graphs, and infographics. Color contrast in text is easy to change if you're using CSS, if you have access to your style sheet. If you have access to the colors of your theme, you can change that pretty easily. However, if you've got an infographic that somebody else made and maybe it's got, you know, like information being conveyed on the red green color spectrum or the blue yellow color spectrum, and it's very confusing, then you have to like rewrite the content of the infographic in the paragraph next to it. So that's why some of my content that I put on the web is a little redundant, and sometimes project managers get upset. All that is in the graphic. You know, why do we need to repeat it in the text? Well, that's why, so that people using assistive tech can also access the information in the, you know, like the information-rich image. That, you know, a lot of people don't know how to write appropriate alt text, or sometimes an infographic has to take 3 paragraphs to describe it, and you cannot stuff 3 paragraphs in alternative text. That's why we put it in that paragraph to the side. So I wanted to just focus on the assistive technology that people are using to access your content, and I strayed. So let's see, we've got the button switch. We've got a sip and puff. So a sip and puff is kind of like the head switch, where it's binary, where if you breathe in, it means it tells the computer to do something, and if you breathe out, it tells the computer to do something. So that's for total paralysis. But if you have the use of the head, that's there's a couple of different things you could do to interface with the web and have your independence. And this is what a Global Accessibility Day is really about, is having independence no matter your situation. People want their dignity. They want to remain independent and be able to do activities on the web without asking for an able-bodied person's help. So that's what I have today. Thank you. Let's see, how do we go? Stop. End.